Hello and welcome to an exploration of analytical method number 6, seeking punctuated equilibria. What you see on the screen is actually the results of our exploration of analytical method number 5, sorting causes by proximity, which we applied to Obama's victory in the 2008 presidential election. And the reason that we're now going to apply number 6 to this as well is because 6 allows us to take the causes that we found in using method 5 and be more rigorous about what's a real cause and what's maybe a less important cause. Now we're borrowing the idea of punctuated equilibria from the biological sciences and from ecology, and the idea is basically that that change doesn't occur in ecological systems or in you'd say the genetic makeup of a species at a slow and regular pace. Rather, they're long periods of stability and balance, and these are the equilibria, and that these periods are suddenly interrupted, that is, they're punctuated by a quick and massive amount of change. If you've ever watched the movie The Day After Tomorrow, where the whole globe turns into a giant ice ball because the ocean currents changed, that is a very dramatic and completely unscientific example of an equilibrium, that is the climate as we see it every day, being incredibly dramatically punctuated by the coming of an ice age. Again, it's bad science, but it's kind of a fun movie. Anyway, now let's take a look at some of these potentially important causes of Obama's victory and see if we can find any of them breaking up a situation that had previously been kind of stable and had been balanced. Now, elections are not necessarily like other types of events because you know when they're going to happen, and as long as you're just looking at who wins, it's usually kind of a binary situation. It has to be either Obama in this case or McCain. So we'll represent McCain's chances of victory as moving towards the top of the screen, and Obama's chances of victory as when the line heads towards the bottom of the screen. And again, this isn't necessarily historically correct.
Newspapers,
this is just
reference books.
As I do this, off the top of my head, without reference if I get some of my historical facts wrong, if I misremember things. This is just a good. Don't kill me if I get use the method. Now, it's obvious that when we think of Obama winning the most electoral votes, that's how Obama won the presidency as a whole. But no useful historian would ever write an essay explaining that Obama won the election because he got the most electoral votes. Not useful. So that's not something we're going to look at as breaking up a stable equilibrium. Going back a little farther, you could point to the several long weeks of negative press that Sarah Palin, McCain's vice presidential candidate, got as potentially turning the election towards Obama and against McCain. But if memory serves, Obama was already rising in the polls by then and starting to tip the balance. So I don't think that the negative attention that Sarah Palin got was necessarily a balance tipper. Same thing, looking a little farther back, Obama's good debate performances. These debate performances weren't necessarily knockouts. It's not like McCain went home in defeat from the debates and Obama went home, with the keys to the Oval Office. But Obama did do a good job that did not hurt him necessarily. Still, you want to look at the debates as something that broke up a stable equilibrium. What you would look at, I think, if memory serves again, is the event just preceding that, the September 2008 financial meltdown, which punctuated what had been a very, a relatively even, with fluctuations, but relatively even matchup between McCain and Obama for much of the summer. And so using this analytical method, I would think that the financial meltdown might be the place to look if we're trying to figure out what the most important cause of Obama's victory is. However, I think the way for us to best figure out, to kind of make our analysis more rigorous, is to test this idea using analytical method number 7. So that's what we're going to do next.